Hey everyone, welcome to Moms in Real Estate. This week's guests are Braiden, McKee, and Shawna Kurowski.
And they are Arizona natives.
Yeah, we're going to hear today how Braiden almost got out of the business.
But Shawna wouldn't let her.
That's right. So I can't wait for you guys to get to know these faith-filled women. So let's get started.
Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hey,
guys.
we're here. Hey, Braiden. Hey, Shawna. How are you guys?
Great. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk with you guys. So give us a little introduction about yourself.
So I'm Braiden, and this is my mom, Shawna, and we are a mother-daughter real estate here. We work mostly the Northwest Valley, and we got into the business about the same time. We went and got licensed together, but we didn't actually go and do real estate at the same time I started. And then about a year and a half after I started, we decided to join forces and work together.
Yep.
Why did you guys decide to join forces? What was kind of like the driving factor behind that?
So the first brokerage that I was at, was not a great situation. And honestly, the people that I was surrounded with at that brokerage for the most part didn't, they pretty much told me that I wasn't gonna make it in the business because of my personality. And they had me trying to like be an ISA for all these different agents or like be a buyer's agent or like all these different things that just weren't, but it wasn't a good fit. Like nothing was working.
There was no support for her there,
yeah.
really.
And I just didn't feel like they believed in me. And so I was like, you know what? I want to work with people that I like and that I trust. And my mom has never let me down. So then I was like, okay, it's time for you to actually start doing this. So I think we need to work together.
Yeah. I mean, who believes in you more than your mom?
I know. Your mom's your biggest. I couldn't work with my mom.
No
way.
No.
Like I couldn't. That is awesome that you can. And I feel like, we've met a couple mother-daughter duos, but not a ton of them. So that's really cool that you guys can do that. And I think it's so awesome when someone tells you can't do something and you're basically like, whatever, I'm going to do it anyways. And like, don't listen to them because it's hard if someone tells you can't do that, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of a dagger, and we actually heard that story several times on this show where people who are amazing real estate agents were told you're never going to make it.
Yeah. They pretty much told me that like week one. So
yeah, you can send them this video and be like, look at me now.
Exactly.
So is that the time when Braiden almost quit?
No, that was a couple years in. So I had a business. So we went to school together and I had a business. She started real estate. And then I realized that, my business, if I don't do my business every single day, I don't get paid. And it wasn't going to allow me the freedom that I wanted. And when she came to me, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's try to do that. So we were plugging along for a couple of years and, we weren't really making the progress that we wanted. And, she was frustrated. Of course, she had a young family and, and it's interesting because our places in life are so different. I have grandkids now. She's my oldest. And so her goals are so much different than mine are. And, she wasn't seeing the results. And I told her, I said, we have to build. I'm like, it's going to come. It's going to come. And she's like, I just can't do this anymore. And, she came to my husband and I, and she's like, I think I'm going to quit. And we were like, no, you're not. You have to, you have to push through, because we had invested so much time and energy at this point. And I was like, because when you're doing this and you're building and you can't see the results, you always think, oh, it's going to be next month. It's going to be next month. And then when it's not next month, you're like, when is it going to be? And you kind of are like, exactly. Like, when's it going to finally happen? And I just told her, I said, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And let's just keep doing it. And, let's do it another year and see where we're at. And then she had her best year ever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love how you just said, let's give it another year. You didn't say, let's just try one more month or one more week or whatever. You were like, no, let's give it another year. And that's the right attitude. You have to, you can't stop. Kristen and I have literally seen thousands of agents come and go out of this industry. And there are so many where we're like, especially, remember, what was her name that, she's so successful now, but it took her months and months. We're like, girl, don't quit. You're doing all the right things. Sonia Hernandez. We're like, don't quit. You're doing all the right things. Don't quit. Don't quit. It's going to happen. And she just felt like giving up. And you got to have those people around you that say, you're being a weenie, you need to do those things, or you're doing all the right things, don't quit, right?
Well, and usually when you feel like quitting, you're so close, right? And so it's like right then you're like, if you can just push through that, usually you'll see the rewards. But we've all felt that, like, when is it gonna pop? Like, I'm so sick of doing these things and nothing happening. I mean, that is definitely a hard feeling to push through.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you guys keep each other accountable? Are you just, I don't know, tell us how you dynamically work together.
It's so funny because we've always had a really good relationship. And I think that just carries over into our business, and being family, what to expect from each other. And it's like when we find out something's working, we'll be like, oh my gosh, I just tried this and this worked. And, we're talking every day though, all the time about what's going on. And, we do showings together. We have, safety protocols in place that we don't ever go alone. So it's usually the two of us. So we spend a lot of time together. We do have weekly meetings where, we get together at the beginning of the week and we're like, okay, what are you working on? What successes did you have? Where are you struggling? What do we want to focus on this week? And then what's your schedule look like? And just things like that.
Yeah, Kristen has been one of my biggest encouragers. Like, I'll feel like what I'm doing is worthless or something, or maybe I'll just have a day where I'm like, I'm so ineffective. And she'll be like, nope. And she'll pick me right back up.
Yeah, same.
That's awesome.
I mean, we all have those days. I think I texted you last week. I was like, I'm such a loser.
And if I don't get to it right away, she'll be like, am I a loser?
You know how now you can hit the message if someone doesn't respond and exclamation, heart, question. So I like to, I don't stalk people, but when they don't respond, I'll hold it and be like, question mark, do you?
So funny.
So I know that both of you are women of faith. And when it comes to that time when you feel like quitting, the way that I think about it is, the only reason why I'm feeling so bad right now is because I must be close to breaking through, because the devil likes to whisper lies to you, Yes. So I always think that when I'm not always, I try to remember when I'm super frustrated that I must be close, because I am so frustrated. I feel like crying.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And that's funny because now that I have that experience, almost a month after I had come to her and said, okay, I think I'm going to be done. I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm failing not only in my business, but in my life. Because if I'm spending all this time doing real estate and not, with my family or whatever, I'm not doing this. But then a month after, I saw people that had been watching my social media and been oh, Braiden is a realtor. When we do something, we're going to use her. And I literally had no idea ever. They never said anything up until that point. And then it was just all of the work started building. And if I had quit, I would have never known that. I would have just been oh, you know what? Those people from, early on, they were right. I should have listened to them, but
wow. Yeah,
they weren't. And here we are.
So you guys, since being both natives, is most of your business from your sphere of influence, or are you also getting it through social media? How does that go for you guys?
It's different for both of us. Mm-hmm. So you talk about yours first, because she does all the social media. Like I'm on Instagram, but if you ask me to post something, it's going to be a hot mess. So I let her do that.
So I do, so social media is a big portion, but a lot of that is fear that I probably wouldn't. I feel like I maybe wouldn't have worked with them if I wasn't on social, if that makes sense. Like, because that's how we're staying connected. I mean, I am a millennial, so that's just where my people are for the most part. And we have Facebook advertising that we've done. And so that's a big portion of it, but we also do online lead generation as well.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Which is a challenge in itself.
Yeah, it's very challenging. It is very challenging.
Yeah. Everything about real estate is really challenging. It's I've been in the business now for 20 years, and I was actually talking to somebody the other day. I can't believe I'm in the business for 20 years. I didn't think I would do anything for 20 years, but this business is so fantastic because you can reinvent yourself through time and your different seasons of life and who you're working with. It's an awesome industry.
I agree.
Oh, yeah,
I feel like it's done so many great things for so many different. I was just having a conversation with another mom that's going to be on the podcast, and I was like, I love how it can meet you at different seasons in your life. We talk about it all the time, but and I love that it doesn't have to look the same for you as it does for me, as it does for her. Like it's different for everybody. So it's so cool.
Yes.
That's why I get so frustrated when I hear stories like yours, Braiden, where you go somewhere and they decide in a week that according to your personality, you're not going to make it. Now, it would be different if you were like refusing to do anything, but this industry, literally, you could have any type of personality except, well, no, you can also have an asshole personality and make it. But,
lots of them.
Yeah.
There are lots
you can
of them.
literally have, yes, there are. And I want to hear about your policy in a minute, but let's hear about the policy because everyone needs to hear this because wise words. But, every single personality will do well if they tap into what God-given talents they have. Right?
Yes.
So I just can't stand it when somebody says, oh, you know what? Your personality's not right. You're never going to make it. That's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your client policies.
So we started a policy when we first started. So I have a very strong personality, and Braiden is much more reserved. And poor Braiden sometimes is like, "Oh, my mom just said that," but it is who I am. So I just told her. I said, "Look," I said, we are going to have a no asshole policy, and if somebody turns out to be an asshole, we're done, because." If you think about it, when we're working with people, they're taking time away from our families and, other things that we want to be doing. Of course, we want to help our clients, but if they're going to be an asshole, you can go find an asshole agent. And I think it would be a match made in heaven. And, but we just decided we're not going to do that. We're not going to put ourselves in a situation where we're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this transaction to close and be done with this person, because nobody's going to be happy in that situation. The client's not going to be happy. We're not going to be happy. And then every time you look back on it, it's going to bring up those negative emotions and oops, sorry. And that's just not, it's a negative experience all the way around, and that's not what we want to have in our business. So.
Well, and the beautiful thing is, like, you can still get paid off that asshole when you refer it to another asshole.
That's right. Exactly.
Wow. I think we've got like a book in the making.
Probably.
Yeah, I can remember. I think it's a really hard lesson to learn, especially when you're new and you're really trying to make ends meet, because Chuck and I made that mistake for sure. Not only did we work with them, but sometimes, like years later, when they would come back to us and say, hey, can you sell our house? We would look at each other and be like, he wasn't that bad, was he? He wasn't that bad. Oh, yes, he was, because we decided to work with him again. It was hell. It was awful. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's where my experience comes in, because I've dealt with them through my life and I can recognize it a lot sooner now, and I just say, this is not worth it. It's not worth any amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So tell us like what, because there's definitely a lot of people that are in that same spot that you were in, where you were ready to give up and you decided to push through. Like, what advice would you give to somebody who is definitely like, I don't think I can do real estate. I've been working, nothing's happening. What would you tell them?
Don't quit. Just don't quit. You have to, I have this, like, you probably can't see it, but I have this poem behind me that it's literally titled Don't Quit. And, you know, that's kind of been my mantra since I was young. You know, I wanted things in my life and I said, this is what I'm going to have. And I'm just going to keep pushing through until you get it. And you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, even if nobody else will, you have to know that you can do it. And if you just keep working it, you will get there. And I think one of the biggest things with real estate, why it's so hard, is because, like you said, Angela, anybody can make it in this business. And there's a million different ways to be successful. And sometimes you have to wait. It's not like success, you just do one thing and then, oh my gosh, you know, you open the door and then success is right there. You have to keep working at it and keep trying and figuring out what works for you. And what works for us may not work for you.
Right.
So, but you just have to keep going and believe in yourself and you'll get there.
I think that one of the biggest things that Kristen and I have learned over the years is that one of the most important things about getting through those hard spots are the people that you surround yourself with. You've got to find the cheerleaders. You've got to find people who are resilient. When you can't be resilient, they're resilient for you. And I think people just totally underestimate. Like my husband says all the time, like when we have our kids, we like, be careful who your friends are. You know, it's so important to choose your friends. And we do that and we get to adults and we forget that even one toxic person in your life can make all the difference in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so true. I mean, I can even think of just when you're around somebody that you're like, I don't want to ask them how they're doing because it's going to be this negative this, that, you know, and So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have family members like that too. Okay, so I won't tell. Is Braiden your favorite, Shawna?
I was going to ask that.
I don't have a favorite.
Oh, you liar. You're a liar. I have a favorite. Out of my 6 kids, I have a favorite, and I declare it to people, but not in front of all the kids know it except for the youngest one.
This is the thing. Braiden is my favorite oldest daughter.
Oh, there you go. Pop out. You're like, no, the siblings will be watching this. We're not doing that.
Oh my gosh.
But she is my favorite daughter right now, though, because she gave me grandkids. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Are all of your kids married?
No, Braiden is the only one married. And then she's my oldest. And so I had 4 and 5 years. My 2 boys are next. And I don't know if there's any single ladies out there. Let's hook them up.
All of my boys, they're 25, 21, 16. Well, one's 10, so who cares?
Yeah.
Those top ones, where are your girlfriends? Where are they?
Yes. I don't know. That's the thing. We got to find them.
They need nice Christian women.
Yeah. And
no kidding.
Yes.
I've been praying for my boys since I got saved when I was little, like 30. I was like 30.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm asking for their salvation, Lord, and then Christian spouses. Those have been like big prayers for my kids.
Yes, for sure. And then my youngest will be getting married. My youngest daughter is going to get married March 17th? 14th?
I think it's 14th.
It's the middle of March.
Oh,
Like
congratulations.
a little over a month
lot
away.
of work.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us to kind of round things out a little bit. Tell us what your future looks like. What are you guys striving for?
So we would definitely want to potentially build a team. We're not there yet, but we can see that down the road, you know, growing our team. I don't even think it has to be huge, but I think just having people in positions in the business that they're in a position that really works for them and they feel fulfilled in that. And I mean, we would actually really like to potentially move out of Arizona.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're natives and I don't know, I would love to go somewhere like maybe a little bit smaller.
Yeah, we want to do like a small community, maybe.
Yeah.
Like where would you go?
That's the $1 million question.
I would maybe go to South Carolina. I don't know. So somewhere maybe like southeast.
So cool.
Yeah. So, but
I was like, just go to the east side. Since you're on the west side.
Yeah, it's totally different over here.
It's like moving out of state, but you know.
Yes, it is.
that's true.
That's so funny.
But there's a lot of people coming over there too.
Yeah, I'm a native, and I left and I went to Las Vegas, and then I went to Huntington Beach, and I was like, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
You might feel that way, but it is nice for me, I never understood why anybody lived in Arizona until I left. And then all of a sudden, I was like, wow, everyone's moving to Arizona. Maybe I'm okay, you know?
I lived in Pennsylvania twice, New Jersey, Iowa, Illinois, North Carolina, 8 places in Florida, Colorado, and Arizona by far is the best place I've ever lived.
Wow.
Yeah, don't leave.
Don't leave,
We'll
don't go.
We'll see.
It's not going to happen anytime soon.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you got little kids, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you both for your encouraging words.
Yes. And next week, you guys, we have Lauren, who's also on the West Side. Lauren went, and she is actually something really cool that I want to talk about with her next week is in 2020, she said, I'm going to build a team. And she went from her to 12 people in 2020, which is
wow.
When you guys start to build a team, that is one of the hardest things is to find agents to join your team and to get into that recruiting role. So she's going to share that with us. And then also after in about 8 minutes, we're going to be on Clubhouse. So if you guys want to head over to Clubhouse, we have Shit Show Moms that we're launching today. It's going to be a shit show.
First, it's going to be a shit show doing Shit Show Moms the first time. Yeah, for sure. So thank you guys again. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.